Welcome to another edition of this data analysis training. In today's video, we're talking about pivot tables in Excel. Good everyone, my name is Stanley, aka Stanalytics, and today we're talking about pivot tables in Excel. Now, imagine a business company which wants to keep track of his data of his business. So he has some information he wants to keep track of. So he can just create a summary of his data set. Now, all this information, thousands of rows and columns to be precise, so it will be hard to keep track of all these 1000 rows and understand what is going on in his company. Instead, he's going to hire a data analyst to help him summarize these data sets in form of a pivot table where he's going to get the information he needs. Now, for example, let's say the manager wants to track various informations like the region with the highest sales, the total quantity sold by each sales rep within a region, and other informations. All he just have to do, if he doesn't want to use the formulas and functions in Excel, he doesn't want to create a chart on Tableau, he doesn't want to use SQL to conduct his analysis, he just wants everything to be in Excel, simple and straightforward. All he just have to do is just to create a pivot tables. A pivot table will help him summarize his data set to fit his taste, to extract the information he wants to extract. Now, to do that, all you just have to do is go to this insert, then click on pivot tables from tables range. Then it's going to select all your data sets, like every single cell in this data set is going to be selected, which means that our pivot table is going to be covering every single cell in this data set, and is going to be covering it, and every single cell in this data set is going to be part of the analysis. Now, our pivot table can exist in two ways. Either our pivot table should be on this worksheet or as a new worksheet. But it's better to be in a new worksheet because we can easily go back to our data set without affecting the pivot table. So now click on the new worksheet, which has been clicked by me, then click on OK. Now to take it to a new worksheet entirely, so you can decide to name this worksheet pivot table stroke summary. Okay, you can't write a stroke when naming a worksheet in Excel. It's informal. So now moving on to our first question: which region has the highest total sales amount? Easy. All you just have to do is click on your region and drag it to the rows. You'll see that what you did has been reflected here. So you can see that in our rows you have east, north, south, and west, and you have the grand total. Then you want to look at the total sales, right? Just drag your sales amount, put it on the values. So by default, it's going to calculate the sum. So you can go to the value field settings. It's going to calculate the sum. You can see that the sum is highlighted, and you can rename it, and you can also see sum of total sales, indicating that it's used the sum calculation, the sum function in calculating it. So you can decide to rename your column for better understanding. Write total sales and press enter. So you can see that we've already known the total sales per region. So now the next one to do is total quantity sold by each sales rep within a region. So our sales manager also wants to know the total quantity sold by each sales rep within a particular region. So since we've already discovered the total sales within this data set, we already know that northern region has the highest sales, right? So when writing our reports, we can easily just write our reports highlighting all this data, all this information, and send it to our sales manager. So we can move to the next question and just cancel all this, then create a new pivot table. So then all you just have to do is drag your sales amount to the rows. Sorry, not sales amount. Drag your sales rep, then drag your region, because since the manager wants total quantity sold by each sales rep within a region. Now, if you decide to guess, you know that everything that has to do with total is a sum function, obviously. And anything that has to do with total amount is talking about the sales amount, right? So drag your sales amount to the values. Then same way you can decide to edit, name it. So you can say that's total quantity. Okay. Now there has been a mistake. Cancel. Not total amount. We want the total quantity sold, not total amount. So then go to value fit settings. Total quantity sold per region. That will be so nice because it makes us understand what we are doing. So you can see that the Alice sales rep, like the total quantity sold by Alice is 4,832, and his most sales is at the eastern region, while Bob has the total sales of 4,977, which is highest sales being at the western part of the United States. So because I think the country is based on United States, if I can recall. Going back to the data sets, okay, I don't think the country is included here, but where I got the data sets from is indicating that it's from the United States of America. So now moving on to our pivot tables. So same goes for Charlie, David, and Eve, and you can see that the total quantity of goods sold by all of them is 25,355. So then moving on, you can decide to calculate the average discounts given based on customer type. So to do that, you can just remove all of the unnecessary details. So calculating the average discount given based on customer type and sales channels. So all we just have to do is drag the customer type to the rows, then drag your sales channels to the column, then go to your discount and drag it. Then in your value fit settings, you can decide to change it to average. And remember, I said by default it's going to calculate the total discount, but we want the average, not the total. So our information has been displayed for us. Now you can see that the average discount, you can see the average discount. So for online customers, the average discount given rather is 0.15, while for new retaining customers the average discount is 0.15 also, but a little bit higher for the retailers than the online customers. So you can see how this pivot table helps the manager to at least get a summary of his data sets. At least using this pivot table, the manager can be like, okay, fine, I've already had a brief review of my data set. I've already had a glance of how my company is going. So which will basically help the company to move forward. So I hope you understand this video, and thank you very much and have a nice day. So if you have any question, you can let me know on my WhatsApp or on the Google Classroom comments. So thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.